Gig work and gig economy are somehow two interchangeable and commonly used terms nowadays. But what's gig? As a term, gig is a slang word that refers to a job that lasts for a short period of time. Traditionally, the term was commonly used by the musicians to define their performance engagements. But nowadays, when it describes economy, it refers to a free market system in which this economy hires contractors or hire workers for a specified period of time. In our nowadays world, there are lots of gig workers around us. Gig workers are just like the home helpers, the janitors, the truckers, the construction workers, the project-based workers, the freelancers, contractors, any type of people that work for a specified period of time. Gig economy, through the help of our digital world, through digital apps, it thrived and it became commonly used worldwide. Nothing is centralized. We might have a company in the North Pole that might hire people from the Southern Hemisphere. Because of what? Because it only connects the buyer with the seller, the consumer, and the service provider. And of course, through the apps, everything became so easy. Of course, a gig economy works flexibly. And for everyone in gig economy might have a chance to work. And people nowadays prefer it because they might have their own unique schedule. And you know what? The spark of the gig economy that made it very common, made it very loved, was the COVID-19. During the pandemic period, there was a 3-year lockdown. And in this 3 years lockdown, people had to perform their work from home. And of course, people, when they worked from home, they found their new comfort zone. And they found that in freelancing and in gig economy, something that they might have as a side job that would bring for them money. You know, after the lockdown, there's something which was very funny. The employers began to threaten their employees. If you do not come back to the workspace, we will fire you. You know what? Because the workers found in working from home some great relief. They are relieved from their toxic work environment, from the gossipers, from the different types of harassment, from the cruel bosses, from anything that might make them very harassed and so uneasy. Do you think that that situation is a natural result of the lockdown, or are you alert enough to understand that there's something going behind the scene? Okay, if you'd like to know what is going on, please bring your favorite drink and let's say the whole story. The art of caricature, when it appeared in the 18th century, it was some type of a satirical art that's meant to either make a compliment or be satirical or insulting. It was used for political purposes. But in our nowadays world, our new type of caricature is the memes. The memes that began to criticize everything. Before the lockdown and the COVID-19 pandemic, the memes became so common and they began to criticize everything. They began to criticize the toxic work environment, the intolerable bosses, the horrifying workplaces, the low wages. The lockdown came and people found a new way. Why should we go to our workspace while we can work from home? economy and gig apps became some kind of mercy for the people who were unemployed, the people with low qualifications, maybe even for the females who have family responsibilities and they cannot go out from home, and if they like to tackle some kind of job, they should do it from home according to some kind of a very flexible schedule. So they found that they might have the chance to earn some money with very low academic qualifications. They might make some kind of videos to teach people how to cook. They might tackle some secretarial tasks. All such things became some kind of side jobs that might help people to work from home, or they became some kind of a great service or an extra bag for the people with low academic qualification. And of course, what helped so many people to go to gig work and they might have the decision to quit their very bad jobs was the overexposure of the negative aspects of work and overthinking the subject along with itching. It's interesting to know that almost 1/3 of the US population work in gig economy to earn extra money. And nowadays, more than 1.6 billion people all over the world working in gig economy. Gig economy attracts all type of the project-based workers, the contractors, the truckers, the drivers, and there are so many fields in which people they can work. They can work in media, they can work in engineering, they can work in administration, they can work in IT, they can work in so many fields. There is a wide array of jobs. They can do it from home through the digital apps. And of course, in gig economy, there were extra perks for both the employer and the worker. For the employer, it is very cost effective. They do not have the commitment to have for their own workers a workspace in which they will pay lots of bills like electricity, water, or have any commitment, or they should pay for furnishing these places or for receiving the clients. It is very cost effective. Why? Any employer should only have what? An app. Just an app. They only have to do what? They should connect the consumer with the service provider. And that's all. And also, hiring contractors or project-based workers will save any employer from paying anything. He is not committed to pay for sick leaves, vacation, make any retirement plans, nothing. Just a commitment that lasts for a short period of time, and that's all. Afterwards, if that employer doesn't like the service provider or the contractor, he will just not hire that contractor or freelancer once more. And that's all. There is a wide array of labor force. It is not just confined to some kind of country or some kind of continent even. A gig employer might hire people from all over the world, provided that they might do the job. And of course, any employer will have people who will cost him so little money. And again, the work hours are very flexible. So, any employer might make very unique schedule for everybody or for every hire. It's so easy. Everything might be done at hand. And even one job might be done by so many hires. As for the advantages of the gig workers, there are so many. Work hours are so flexible. They do not have to go to office and work at that office according to some specified hours. They can work at any time they choose. And they can customize any schedule that they like. Any gig worker might work for so many employers, and they might tackle so many jobs. This is according to their ability to work for longer hours. So gig economy and gig jobs became an incentive for anybody that they might work for some extra hours to earn some more money. But these are the benefits. But what are the negative aspects of this gig economy? In gig economy, all the contractors are not incentivized by any means. They do not have bonuses, they do not have paid vacations, they do not have sick leaves, they do not have health insurance. They have to work all the time in order to have some money. So, trying to keep some stable type of salary and income is a great challenge. For the inexperienced people, they might work for so many hours. They work themselves very hard until they become burnt out. And then afterwards, what will happen for them? They will not be even have the ability to work again. Some people who work in gig economy for so many reasons, they find themselves after some kind of period, they're not able to work again. They hate the job. They hate going from some place to another. There is no spirit of competitiveness because they work in isolated islands. They do not have any colleagues that they might be competitive with them, or they might have the spirit of, okay, I might work more to have some kind of an extra position. No one will be promoted in gig jobs. Everyone is just taken just like that for the job, and that's all. So, if you'd like to qualify yourself and have extra training courses or anything just like that, it is for you. You might have it or you might not have it. But according to your qualifications, you might be hired or might not even be hired. It's a tragedy that in gig economy, you might have so many qualified people. They do not have anybody would like to hire them. They like to hire the less qualified people. Also, there is some very bad disadvantage of this work economy. For some kind of works, just like translating, writing articles, or handling some secretarial jobs, or anything of the sort that makes people work for long hours in isolated and closed places to concentrate into the job, after some period, they will have some mental issues. They would feel with isolation, it will be so much frustrating. So at the end, who will pay for their mental health deficiencies afterwards? As for the experts, of course, in any kind of business, experts, when they are hired, they have very big salaries. But in gig economy, of course, in those experts, they are just project based. They will have some kind of money or package, and that's all. The bigger downside of these gig jobs is it's very attractive for the millennials and Gen Zers. It is just like some kind of a trend and like just playing with the internet. As for the traditional workers or for the older brackets of employees, they do not like gig working. For them, it is very insecure. And for the employers, they do not like those types of people, older people, because older people means that they are more qualified and they need extra pay. So they need people who are very enthusiastic to work for any kind of money or for any low wage. And you know what? So many of those employers, when they like to maximize their profits, they deduce from the wages they give to the gig hires. So, gig work is all the time coupled with a feeling of insecurity for everyone. And for the Gen Zers, they will feel insecure because they might not be hired, maybe for months. And for the older workers, they will feel that afterwards, after a very short period, they will not be demanded because they are not fit for the job. During the Trump era in 2021, there was a rule issued that made it easy for the employers to classify any of their workers as independent contractor. And of course, when they do this, they deprive those workers from all the benefits given to the full-time employees. But in January 2024, there was another rule that was issued by the Labor Department in the US, and of course that will be everywhere in the world afterwards, that any independent contractor or the gig workers, they might be treated like full-time workers, which means that they will have all the benefits just like retirement plans or fair pay and minimum wages and all such nice things that they might be given to them. Of course, you will feel okay. Again, we're relieved. At the end, all these gig workers, they will have their own rights. Come on, grow up. The world is not that pink. There's also something going behind the scene. The logic says that after making all these contractors and hires or any time of project-based employees, they might be treated or have some benefits of the full-time workers. It means that there might be a chance, or not even a chance, it would be sure that all the full-time employees will sooner or later be considered gig workers, which means that they will be deprived from so many other benefits like the promotion, retirement plans, so many other things. They just will work for some period of time, and after that, they will find nothing. They will find their income a challenge to maintain. If gig work became the overall rule, of course, free market economy and or the very severe Minix principle will be easily applied, which means that the country will be just reduced to a supervisor. Its role will be just like a night watchman. In any night watchman state, the role of the country is just reduced to that of a mere supervisor. And this supervisor has a military to protect the country from outside aggression, have police to protect people from theft, crimes, harassments, and good court system that will settle the conflicts and will make all the contractors go in its right way. And that's all. But what about the country? The country, of course, will be away from any type of project. The role of the country and the share of the country in any of the national projects will be minimal. The process of privatization will be made so easy without having the least objection. Of course, everybody is what? Is a king. There is nothing structural. And again, all the full-time workers, of course, some people at the beginning will be retained and they will be full-time workers. But at the end, everybody will be a gig. Everybody will be so gigged. And of course, when everybody becomes so gigged, all the rights of workers, the country will give its back to it. The people will work according to a certain period of time. Then afterwards, when they become frustrated, they might have some mental issues, they might have some health issues, and at the end, they will stay at home and it will be a challenge for them to find any other job. So, after what has been said, the question is now for you. What do you think? All these principles of gig economy will be easily applied to everywhere in the world, or will be there some exceptions? So, if you like the content, please, I'd like to see your thumbs up and the subscribe button clicked. And see you once more in Economics in the Go.